After Cassandra Nova got done torturing Paradox, Cassandra Nova cauterized all his wounds so he didn't die, and then he looked at Lady Deadpool crying and he asked her, "Please kill me, I beg you," and then Lady Deadpool walked away and she didn't say or do anything. And then after we saved the original Wolverine and Deadpool along with everyone else in the void, and then I took the evidence of Paradox to the real TVA and I said, "One of yours betrayed you and your people. I am here to show that he's responsible for a lot of terrible things." And then I showed them all the evidence of what Paradox did. I showed them all his confession, and then right after that Cassandra Nova walked up and said to him, "You stole my life, you evil bastard." And then Lady Deadpool turned the camera in the other direction, and then Paradox said, "Oh God, please not," that he screamed, "Oh please not my testicles." And Paradox screamed and begged Cassandra Nova not to take his manhood, and she said, "This is only the beginning, darling." And then he let out a high-pitched scream after a ripping noise, and then more screams, and all you could see is Lady Deadpool's and regular Deadpool's reaction, and Wolverine puked. And then the Owen Wilson look-alike TVA manager said, "I have seen enough and it's time for you all to go back home, but we want you to be a good person with him. We don't want any more trouble from you, Cassandra Nova." And then I said to the Owen Wilson look-alike TVA guy that one of your team members, the security guard over there, I pointed to the woman I got pregnant and I said, "I need her to come with me because she's pregnant with my children." And then he raised an eyebrow and said, "Interesting," and he looked at the TVA security guard and he said, "You just couldn't resist, could you?" And then she said, "Look at him, he's gorgeous. I couldn't help myself." And then he said, "You may all go, but I might need your help later, James Sinclair, or should I call you Black Spider-Man?" And I said, "I'm also called Venom or Anos Voldigoad." And then when we went back home to our universe, Cassandra Nova went to see Charles Xavier and they talked in the original Deadpool. Wade Wilson and Wolverine went back to their universe along with everyone else because I recreated their universe and it no longer needed a tether. And honestly, I don't believe in what everything Paradox said. He just like a liar to me because he was really evil, but regardless I made sure there was no problems when I restored every universe for the people in the void that lost their homes. And then I also secretly brought back all the X-Men in Deadpool's universe, and I did that for Logan because Wolverine loved the X-Men, and when Wolverine got back to Deadpool's universe he found out that there's X-Men in his world, so he went to be with the X-Men. And Wade Wilson aka original storyline, Deadpool went back to his girlfriend, and then I decided to go around my entire universe absorbing every major power including all the Beyonders' powers. So first I started with the Beyonder and I absorbed all his powers and I killed him, and then I absorbed all of Galactus' powers and I purified all their powers and I absorbed all of it, and then I teleported to the ancient village where Shang-Chi's mother lived and I absorbed all the ancient demons there behind the black gate, exposing the ancient treasure box inside. And then I went inside and I saw the ancient treasure box and it held all the powers of the Monkey King, and then I grabbed the staff of the Monkey King and then I ate the golden peach and I gained incredible powers and strength. I gained all the powers of the true Monkey King, but I didn't turn into a monkey, thank God. And then a cloud came down and carried me and Deadpool away, and then Lady Deadpool said, "Wow, this reminds me of Dragon Ball Z." And then I said to Lady Deadpool, "Yo, you do know that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z is based off the old book Journey to the West. It's basically about the Monkey King, and now I have all the powers of the true Monkey King along with the powers to get stronger by absorbing human souls and store them in my body, which will come in handy for me later when I need to retrieve a certain Infinity Stone that requires a so-called sacrifice. Not really, that's all bullshit. You can actually sacrifice Red Skull, or you need the power to control souls, that's all. And now I have that power, and then I decided to absorb Eternity, and I also absorbed all the powers of the Living Tribunal, and then I absorbed the powers of Infinity, and now I was literally the only thing holding my universe together along with the rest of the Marvel multiverse. So I decided to create Jupiter Earth and Saturn Earth, and it was there on both planets I decided to create a new race of people, the human androids born from true artificial intelligence, and they can even reproduce with anyone without getting any sexually transmitted diseases from humans. They can have sex with anyone. Basically I created a superior race of humanoids that are more machine than human.